And what we have for you next is a real treat. We have James O'Keefe is here from Project Veritas. Now, if you don't know about Project Veritas, these are the people that go out and they try to reveal what's going on with Democratic organizations, news organizations, all kinds of things with their hidden camera investigations. And it's good to have you here, James.
Great to be with you.
We actually, the last time you and I talked, you were working on something in the Tennessee Senate campaign involving Democrat Phil Bredesen. That turned into quite a story.
Yeah, so that was the Phil Bredesen video where the people inside his campaign were saying he's saying one thing to get elected, and he was just lying about his Kavanaugh record, saying we wouldn't actually vote for Kavanaugh. We're just saying that to win an election in a red state.
Yeah, and so that's the kind of stuff you do. Shocking things that people will admit on a hidden camera when they don't think that anybody, when they don't want the public to really know.
And when there's a difference between how you project yourself in public versus who you are in private, Veritas seeks to shrink that difference. We want to make a more ethical society. And the thing about Democrats in red states is that they kind of have to mislead the voters in order to get elected. So and every single state we visited that was a red state where a Democrat was running, they would say, well, listen, we're going to have to lie about our positions to get elected.
Okay, so you've just broken another video. Tell me about that.
This was broken yesterday. It's blowing up right now. It's an insider inside Facebook came to us a year ago with secret documents, internal code written by programmers at Facebook that show that they're using a term called deboosting, which is to reduce the distribution of the videos in your news feed, and they don't notify their users that they're doing that. And it seems that this has turned political, that they're using certain keywords such as MSM, mainstream media, lulz, normie, meme sort of words, and they're taking these words and they're using artificial intelligence to mine what's being said in order to censor conservatives. And I confronted these engineers in San Francisco on Tuesday morning, and it's pretty bad.
What is God bless you. What is their defense for this, or what do they have to say in defense of what they're doing?
Facebook responded last night in a Business Insider and Daily Mail article and said that this is they do in fact do this. So, but they said that this is for people who game the system, was the words that they used, who something involving an API and gaming the system. So the people that they deboosted, according to our whistleblower, was Steven Crowder, the Daily Caller, Mike Cernovich, and others. And she checked all these liberal websites, and nothing was being deboosted. Yeah. So I checked with Steven Crowder, and I asked him, he said, I did not do what they're claiming. So, and it's not just that, there's also this troll report that we got a copy of. And in this troll report, they list all these words that you're not supposed to use. So,
like what?
Like MSM, mainstream media,
right.
Which is, the right has appropriated that word. The left doesn't really use MSM.
Right.
And then other harmless words like meme words. These are not racist things. These are not Klansman hoods. These are relatively innocuous words. So this troll report is pretty damning, and I think that we caught them red-handed, to be honest with you.
And that has been, of course, the suspicion in conservative circles is that social media suppresses things that have a conservative bent to them and promotes the things that have a more liberal bent to them.
That's what we do at Project Veritas. We confirm suspicions.
Yeah.
And I think that this is the new power nexus. Facebook, Twitter. I'm wearing a shirt with an upside down birdie, symbolic of our investigation last year, which is the Twitter investigation. The engineers talked about shadow banning people. So this is the MO. And by the way, if you care about elections, good government, Judicial Watch cares about government accountability, you can't get any information from anyone unless that information goes through Facebook, Twitter, or Google. And if they're creating algorithms to prevent you from seeing certain things, this is a big problem. It's also what Mark Zuckerberg said under oath he does not do.
Yeah.
So this is interesting.
So they're having to do, as they say, they have some splaining to do.
Some splaining, yes, yeah. That's exactly right.
I have noticed that on Twitter, for example, most of my tweet is job related and is conservative in nature. I've noticed it doesn't seem to have as much impact, not as much activity around the tweet. Am I alone in having that experience?
No, everyone's come up to me here and said I've suspected they're doing that to me too.
Yeah.
It seems to be the words that we use that the conservative movement uses, it seems to me that they've identified some of those harmless words as problematic. And one of the things the whistleblower showed me, she logged into the back end, and there was some language from the executives inside Facebook that said, we don't want to reward divisive content. What does that even mean? People
divisive, it's not necessarily divisive, it's just a different viewpoint.
It's just First Amendment, and people disagree. So, but this is the issue of the day, right? They want there's one way to think. You have to be this sort of utopian, we're all in agreement. Well, we're not in agreement. The country's very divided right now.
It is very divided,
It's extremely divided. I would say it's majority center-right, but it's divided. And these engineers are trying to create these algorithms which will prevent the words that cause division.
So what you do at times becomes very controversial in some of the mainstream reporting. How do you deal with all this? Because you know when you drop something like you just dropped, well, you know what's going to hit the fan.
Well, Business Insider had a headline this morning that wrote, and I quote, anti-Facebook activist produces stunt. I mean, you gotta laugh, because first of all, this is the least stunty thing I have ever done. These are documents. I've interviewed a whistleblower. This is the paragon of investigative reporting. I mean, what is journalism if not interviewing a source and showing incontrovertible document evidence? But what are you going to do when the media attacks you? You just keep going. You just keep producing. And I think that the fact that they're attacking us is evidence that we're over the target. Facebook issued a response within an hour, and they did confirm. They did confirm that this deboosting thing in fact happens. What I'm anxious to see them say is, if you don't know that you're being deboosted, that's the issue. They have to notify. In defense of Facebook, they do have policing mechanisms when your account gets taken down.
Right.
It's a pretty fair process. You can protest to get it to put it back up. Like Raheem at Breitbart had this happen yesterday. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about, on the back end, your stuff being deboosted without you knowing.
Wow. And we, social media has become so important to our day-to-day lives. It's become such an important platform for information. It's almost feeling as if the table is not level for conservatives. And good work. Keep up the good work. And I know you can't talk about the things that might be coming, but you got some other things in the
we always have things in the pipeline. I can never talk about it, but Facebook, Twitter, Google, these are in the mainstream media, education, government. We work with Judicial Watch on our deep state stories back in October, where we exposed the State Department guy and the Department of Justice individuals who were targeting people. So just stay tuned.
All right, we will. James O'Keefe with Project Veritas. I'll take that microphone back from you. Thank you so much, and thanks for dropping by to chat with us here at Judicial Watch TV.